As a team, we decided to carry out an analysis of phenolic plates, as it is one of the most important materials for the elaboration of electronic circuits. A phenolic board is a material used in the manufacture of printed circuit boards, or PCBs. It is composed of paper or cloth impregnated with phenolic resin and is used as a base material for the manufacture of printed circuit boards. Phenolic resin is a thermosetting polymer that hardens under heat and pressure, making phenolic board taut and durable. Phenolic boards are cut and drilled to prepare patterns of tracks and holes that are used to connect electronic components on a printed circuit board. Phenolic boards are composite materials that are widely used in industrial applications due to their excellent mechanical and thermal properties. The industrial development of phenolic boards requires several stages of processing, including material selection, preparation of the resin mixture, plate preparation, fitting, cutting, and finishing. Material selection is a critical step in the production of phenolic boards. Phenolic resins are the most commonly used thermosetting polymers due to their excellent heat resistance and mechanical properties. The reinforcement material is typically kraft paper or glass cloth, which enhances the strength of stiffness of the composite. The preparation of the resin mixture is an important step that involves mixing the resin with the reinforcement materials and other additives according to a specific recipe. The mixture is stirred thoroughly to ensure that the components are evenly distributed and to eliminate air bubbles. The plate preparation involves placing the plate in a press with a sheet of release paper on top and bottom. The resin mixture is then poured onto the plate and spread evenly with a spatula. The thickness of the resin layer is carefully controlled to ensure uniformity across the plate. Fairing is the process of cutting the resin and creating a rigid and strong phenolic board. The plate is fired at a high temperature and pressure in a press for several hours, which causes the resin harden and adhere to the reinforcement material. Cutting and finishing are the final step or stage of the process. Once the board has cooled, it is cut to the requirement specification using specialized cutting tools. The edges are then sand and polished to obtain a smooth, even surface. In addition to these basic steps, advanced manufacturing techniques such as laser cutting, drilling, and milling can be used to create custom shapes and size on the phenolic board. In terms of production layout, a linear layout is commonly used for a phenolic board. This layout enables sequential processing of the plate and can be automated to improve production efficiency. Advanced production planning and control techniques such as lean manufacture and just-in-time production can also be implemented further optimize the manufacturing process.
Now I'm gonna talk about all the phenolic board supply chain as follows. First, we have the origin of raw materials. The first material is the phenol, that is an organic chemical compound used as a raw material in the manufacture of the various resins, plastics, and chemical products. Its origin dates back to the production from benzene, and its production process is carried out through the hydrogenation and oxidation process in chemical refineries. Second material is the formaldehyde, that is an organic chemical compound used as a raw material in the manufacture of various resins, plastics, and chemicals. Its origin dates back to the production from the methanol, and its production process is carried out through the distillation of wood or natural gas. The third and final raw material is the kraft paper, that is a type of paper used in various industrial applications, such as the manufacture of phenolic board. Its origins goes back to the wood pulp, which is obtained from the pine or eucalyptus trees grown in the forestry plantations. Second point I'm gonna talk about is the elaboration of piece or product. The manufacture of phenolic board is a complex process involving several stages. The main steps in the manufacture of phenolic boards are described below. First, we have the preparation of raw materials that I mentioned in the last presentation. The main raw materials are kraft paper and phenolic resins. The kraft paper is cut into strips and soaked in the phenolic resin. The second step is the planting the paper in the mold. The resin impregnated kraft paper strips are placed in layers in a mold, which can have different shapes and sizes depending on the desired application. Each layer is compressed and smoothed to ensure even distribution of the resin. The third step is the heating and pressing. The mold filled with the paper and resin is placed in a head press and subject to the high temperatures and pressures to cure the resin and fuse the paper layers into a single plate. The curing process can take several hours. Cooling and finishing is the fourth step. Once the curing process is complete, the mold is removed and the plate is allowed to cool. It is then cut to desired size and shape and undergoes a finishing process that may include the application of a protective coating such as the melanin or laminate to improve its strength and appearance. And the final step is the inspection and packing. Each phenolic board is carefully inspected to ensure that it meets required quality standards. They are then packaged and labeled for shipment to customers. It is worth mentioning that the exact manufacturing process may vary depending on the manufacturer and the type of phenolic board to be produced, but the main steps are usually similar. In addition, adequate safety measures must be taken through the process, as the handling of resins and heat the pressure equipment can be pose health and safety risks. The assembly of the phenolic boards in industry depends on the end of use of the product. In general, the phenolic boards are used in applications where the high resistance to moisture, heat and wear is required, such as construction, furniture manufacturing and fur covering. The main steps in the assembly of phenolic boards for different industrial applications are described below. It's worth mentioning that the assembly process may vary according to the type of application and the client's specifications. In addition, adequate safety measures must be taken during the whole assembly process, especially in the handling and fixing on the phenolic boards. And finally, we have the production line process. The phenolic board manufacturing process can be either a production line process or a batch process depending on the scale and complexity of the production. In the production line process, phenolic boards are manufactured on a continuous production line, where each stage of the process is carried out at a dedicated workstation. In the batch process, the phenolic boards are manufactured in separate batches, with each batch goes through all the process steps before moving on the next batch. In summary, both the production line process and the batch process are used in the phenolic board manufacturing depending on the scale complexity of production and the needs of the customer.
Now I'm going to talk about the importance of having a supply chain when we are manufacturing phenolic boards. Having a well-established and efficient supply chain is crucial in the manufacturing of phenolic boards, which are the type of composite material made from layers of paper or fabric impregnated with the phenolic resin. Phenolic boards are widely used in various applications such as construction, automotive, aerospace, marine, and more important, the electrical industries. Here are some reasons why the supply chain is important in the phenolic board manufacturing. First, the raw material procurement. Next, the cost efficiency. Next, the quality control. Fourth, the flexibility and adaptability. Fifth, the time delivery. And sixth, the innovation and collaborations. These supply chain have some advantages and disadvantages. The advantages is the cost efficiency, the customer satisfaction, as we said before, the flexibility and adaptability, the innovation and growth, and the risk management. And some disadvantages is it increases sometimes the cost, and it has like some risk if you don't control it. To conclude this, is a supply chain is essential for the manufacturing of phenolic boards, enabling efficient and procurement of raw material and cost optimization.
The raw materials required for making a phenolic board include paper, phenolic resin, and copper. The paper used in the board is typically made of cellulose fibers and should be high quality to ensure uniformity and strength of the final product. The phenolic resin used should also be good quality and have the appropriate chemical properties to bond the layers of paper together and provide the required mechanical strength and electrical insulation properties. The copper used in the phenolic board is typically in the form of a thin sheet, and its thickness will depend on the specific requirements of the final product. The copper should be of high quality to ensure good electrical conductivity and adhesion to the phenolic board. To obtain the raw materials, it's common to purchase them from specialized suppliers, and these suppliers can provide the necessary quality certifications and guarantees, ensuring that the materials meet the required specifications for the production of phenolic boards. The way the raw materials are obtained can vary depending on the specific production process used. However, it is common for the paper and copper to be purchased in the form of rolls and sheets, and the phenolic resin may be supplied as liquid or powder. The exact way of obtaining the raw materials will depend on the specific production process used and the requirements of the final product. The time required for the production of a phenolic board can vary depending on several factors, including the size, complexity, and quantity of the boards being produced, as well as the specific production process used. In general, the production process for the phenolic boards involves several steps, including the preparation of the raw materials, the manufacture of the board itself, and the finishing and testing of the final product. Each of these steps can take varying amounts of time, and the overall production time will depend on how efficiently each step can be completed. For a typical production run, the total production time for a phenolic board can range from a few hours to several days. However, same production processes such as those used for high performance or custom design boards can take longer and require more specialized equipment and expertise. Phenolic boards are sold in different formats and sizes. Some of the most common forms in which phenolic boards are sold are standard size boards. These boards have a predetermined size and are usually available in different thicknesses. Most common standard sizes are 1220 times 2440 millimeters and 1220 times 1830 millimeters. There is also the plates cut to size. If the client needs a plate with specific measurements, some suppliers can offer the service of cutting the plates to the required size. There's also the sheets and laminated sheets. In some cases, phenolic boards are sold in the form of sheets or laminated sheets, and these can have different sizes and thicknesses and can be used for different applications. And phenolic boards can be sold as bulk materials. In some cases, suppliers may offer bulk materials, which allow the customer to cut and customize their plates to their needs. These phenolic plates can be sold directly to the end customer or through distributors and wholesalers. In general, vendors offer different purchasing options, such as online purchases, telephone purchases, or in-person purchases at stores or business locations. The price of phenolic plates can vary depending on their size, thickness, quality, and quantity purchased. To make an order of 500 phenolic plates can be done in different ways, depending on the size of the buyer wants. For example, if the buyer requires a large size plate, we do all the process that we have already mentioned above and continue as normal. On the other hand, if the buyer wants plates or different sizes, the process would be slightly different and we would have to cut it. As we want to save time to be able to produce more, the most viable thing is to make large plates and then cut them. It would take them more time if we make them in small sizes. This would take the same time to produce the 500 units, but if we make them large, then cut them, we make less large plates. From those plates we can get the 500. For example, if for a large plate, this is just an example, we can get 10 small plates. So we can use less large plates and still have the 500 small ones. The order of the 500 plates can be done in a week, and it would only be an extra time in the shipping. And if the buyer wants to make another order in the same month, it could. Depends on the time when he orders.